October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and advocates are telling people to speak up because it could save a life.
Yeah, and with the economy suffering from the pandemic and more people being forced to stay at home, experts say this is creating the perfect storm for abusive relationships. According to a Women's Aid survey, 78% of women living with abusers felt like they couldn't get away because of the pandemic.
Many people going purple today to raise awareness, and this year services and awarenesses are needed more than ever as agencies like the Lighthouse in Baldwin County are reporting a rise in calls amidst COVID.
Our Fox 10 News Baldwin County reporter Ashlyn Irons spoke with local advocates this morning.
COVID is forcing many of us to stay home more than ever this year. For some, it's an inconvenience. For domestic violence victims, it may mean life or death.
When you house abusers and victims together 24 hours a day without access to help, domestic violence in this community has greatly increased.
As COVID restrictions eased, more and more survivors are able to get the help they need thanks to places like the Lighthouse here in Baldwin County. The Lighthouse serves Baldwin, Mobile, Conecuh, and Escambia counties, offering a 24-hour shelter and crisis line, as well as supportive housing, court advocacy, and children's services. Even during the pandemic, they made sure to prioritize safety and health by regularly cleaning shelters and hosting virtual vigils over social media.
We don't want to forget those people who didn't survive this crime on families. We don't want to forget the Stephanies and the Candaces and the Lavons and the Catherines.
Irvin says domestic violence isn't just physical. The National Coalition of Domestic Violence says it also includes sexual violence, threats, and emotional abuse. That's why the Lighthouse is working with local law enforcement and hospitals to make medical care for sexual assault victims more easily accessible here on the Eastern Shore.
We want that care to be done in our county so that victims and law enforcement don't have to travel to process rape cases.
The most important message of the day, though, you are not alone. Reporting in Baldwin County, Ashlyn Irons, Fox 10 News.
The Lighthouse hosting its second annual domestic violence vigil at Honeybee Park in Robertsdale today. There was a balloon release in remembrance of victims who have died because of this devastating crime. Speakers at this year's event included Baldwin County District Attorney Robert Wilters, Sheriff Hoss Mack over there, and Robertsdale Mayor Charles Murphy. Since 1990, more than 25 women, children, and men in Baldwin County lost their lives to domestic violence. Also included in that, one police officer responding to a domestic violence call.
Well, if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, another resource is Penelope House. They offer housing and emergency hotlines. The phone number there is 251-342-8994, or the Lighthouse in Baldwin County at 251-947-6008. They take calls 24 hours a day.